and harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. All over the world, we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority.
All right, truth seekers. All right, it is Monday, and we got a great conversation today. We're going to get into just an open conversation about reptilian shapeshifters. You know, could the myth be true? Where would they be? Why would they want to shapeshift? And at the same time, why are they doing it and why are they here? So we're going to talk about that tonight. And so I want you to kind of get ready to go down what I consider the rabbit hole of discussion as we begin to do that. So if you're ready for that conversation, we're going to get into it. And it all most powerful people on the planet, like the president, the CEOs, entertainment icons, aren't even human. Would you believe that? Or have you ever got that notion? What if everything you thought you knew about power was carefully constructed illusion? Because tonight we're going to pull back the mask. Literally, we're going to pull back the mask in a conversation about what the possibilities are, who is behind it, and what could they want. Now, I know you might be saying, Roderick, wait, you know, how could that be? How could there be, you know, somebody controlling us or puppet masters, or where are you going with this reptilian stuff? And then you might say, well, is it real? Because I know you might think about it. I know it crosses your mind. It has to be, because you have that feeling inside that it may be happening. But what if we've been living under this thing all the time? And that's something that we need to do. So you might want to ask yourself, do you need to know about this? Absolutely, you want to know, and you want to get things going from when we do that. So, all right, we'll get into it. And inadvertently, I'll say hello to everyone in the chat here in a little bit. But the most thing it is we're talking about the most common belief when it comes down to reptilian shapeshifter. Because got people be like, you know, Roderick, that's just crazy. And I thought about that for a while too. When I first heard about it, or of course, when we saw the movie V, y'all remember that, right? Because I was looking at the movie V years ago, and that was the first hint, I think. Now, besides Conan the Barbarian and a lot of that, where you thought about the reptilian shapeshifters, but V was right there in your face. It was like in plain sight of what they were doing. They came in peace. They looked like humans, and then ultimately we saw them feasting off rats, and then at this point, the reptilian side came out, or lizard people, and so we went that route. But we were told that political dynasties rise through family legacy, hard work, and destiny, if you ever go back to that thought, and that celebrities reach the top because of talent and charisma. These are the myths that we live under right now, because you got royal families. You got, okay, I'm a descendant of the Rockefellers. Okay, I am, you know, I'm in the Bill Gates family. Oh, Jeff Bezos is my uncle. Oh, Elon Musk is whatever. So that's how things were told. And that the great leaders of our time are just men and women just like us. And of course, we are being flawed, human, ambitious, but ultimately normal, right? And so they just supposed to have these human flaws, right? And that just makes them just like us, or the song that we all seen in the Super Bowl, just like us, or that particular phrase, or whatever was going on. It sure went viral. And what if the reptilians was behind that and saying just like us? And we're sitting here thinking it was just like us based upon what we was looking at, not really knowing the undertone messages. Well, it could be that. So, but anyway, if this is true, then we live in a world that merits, that decides the power, and it's nothing to fear, because it's like, okay, don't worry about it, right? You know, all hard work is paid off. This is just what's happening. Our presidents are our presidents, and whoever's rich is rich, and blah, 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 and depend on the whole smorgasbord that, hey, that's just the way life is. There is no coincidences there, right? Oh my God. Or it's just a bunch of coincidences. But it's false. Then we've been living under deception so massive, so intricate that it defies belief. And personally, for me, I'm going to go with the defies belief side of things, because oftentimes it's hard for people to grasp, even when we're having a conversation, that reptilians could even exist, or let's move reptilians to the side and let's just say the word hidden powers, okay, for a minute, or people that are controlling the strings of life and in humans and everything else. Because after all, okay, I'm going to go this route. None of us really know how we really got here. We know, okay, we all can say this, or God just shaped us out of clay and went and let there be man. Oh, and now he's got two bones and some arms, some legs, and oh, he needs a little thing in the middle. Oh, she needs a little thing for the thing in the middle for that, and for that can go into it. And now we got a perfect scenario here. And that's what we're told and we're brought up, that Adam and Eve or whatever. Okay, but again, the real truth is nobody really knows everything. Nobody really knows who and how the first person stepped on this dirt and walked on this planet. But what we do know, as I discussed on Friday, is that there's a lot of historic value that goes back into there's something in the dark messing with our DNA and all of that stuff. Okay, but we never, ever, in all of this historic stuff, all of the monuments and information, we've never seen the exit strategy of these deities or beings or people or whatever. Nobody knows how they left. They didn't get up on a horse and ride off like John Wayne after he got shot in the movie in the sundown. It's coming down. Nobody saw him jump on a spaceship and say, adios, amigos. We're out of here. No one saw them leave. So what did that tell us? Is it a possibility that they're still here? And knowing who we are, knowing all the barbaric things about humans, as well as the engineering behind this perfect being that God created, maybe they walk among us, and we've said that. But the best thing to do is to hide in plain sight. Now, that goes deeper into what we're going to be talking about tonight, because they could be everywhere. Everywhere. Now, if you were a reptilian and you had a choice to say, I want to, and this is that baffles me the most. There's oftentimes you hear stories, someone said this homeless person shapeshifted into something. And you got to think about the world that we're in. Why would they? You know, if you had a choice and you wanted to live the lifestyle and have the human experience, why would on earth, if you got the technology, that you want to be a homeless person? Okay, maybe because you can hide in plain sight. Maybe you can hide in plain sight, but you don't have the power to do the rituals and all those things that they need to keep their veil of energy. Not in that position. You just don't have it. You won't access it unless there's something underneath the bridges that we don't know about. Maybe there's a hidden city. Maybe there's some stuff that's going on. I'm just throwing some stuff out there to you tonight because I just want your mind to go into the infotainment of thinking about all the possibilities, and maybe the person that you are entwined with is a reptilian and you don't even know it. Or maybe you've seen it. Because I've gotten stories where people say, man, I think my girlfriend is a reptilian. And I go, why? And if you hear some of the stories that I was told, and I won't share all of that, and it's mind-boggling, like, really, it's something that goes down. But here's the deal. If we ignore the signs that we're going to be talking about tonight, then I think we stay blind. Because here's what I want to say to each and every one of you when it comes down to this reptilian stuff. If you are a true truth seeker, and you are a true truth seeker, and this is what you do. you can't have any boundaries seeking the truth. And I will probably be one of the to admit that there was a time that I had boundaries of how far I would go into researching any of this information. There were some areas I just didn't want to go in. But now as I'm learning and studying that you cannot be a true truth seeker with what we call no-go areas. You just can't do it. So I want all of you to think about that. So when I give you some of the most outlandish, insidious ideas and things known that will break your comprehensions of your thought, may you just walk away and say, oh, Roderick is crazy as bat, sugar, honey, iced tea. Don't go there, because we are seeking the truth. And in order to seek the truth, we got to go into the no-go areas. And so I now stand firm to say, now anybody in here out there that calls themselves truth seekers have a limitation on where they would go seeking the truth, because obviously we're still seeking it in the realms that we're in. It's possible that it's somewhere else. If you want to echo that, let me know. Let me know, am I on to something right now? Put it in the chat. Let me know I'm not standing here by myself when I say you cannot not enter the no-go areas. Now, I'm not telling you if you're dealing with individuals in those areas that you put you walk in those shoes. You can put yourself in their shoes or the ideology of information. You don't have to walk in it, though. You can go in there to study. So let's say I have a question for you, which is kind of like a disturbing revelation. And we're talking about contradiction. We're talking about how do we contradict the things that we hear, the possibilities, and why our minds may not comprehend the fact that there is a possibility that there's somebody ruling something. And stick around, because when we get into the third segment, we're going to talk about all of this depressing energy and how you feel and why you may be feeling the way you feel. And we're going to touch on that, and then we'll give you some answers how to break free from that. But that's later on in the show. In the meantime, buckle your seats. We're going to go look for Dorothy and the Yellow Brick Road, and I'm just excited to take you there. So if you're ready, put it in the chat. Let me know you're ready. Let me know I'm not by myself, and we're going to roll. So the question is then, why do we keep seeing reports, leaks, eyewitnesses that world leaders, celebrities have been caught shifting, morphing into something inhuman? Now, I'm telling you, this is not random coincidence that some people are these type of people. You just said, well, Roderick, that's a coincidence. Now, I got to answer. Y'all have already heard me. Coincidence? It's God's way of being anonymous. That's just the way I feel about it. So there is no coincidence. Just letting you know. Everything is happening. In fact, nothing, listen to me closely, nothing just happens. I just want you to know that. Don't, from this day forward, if you don't gather with anything else, want you to know that nothing just happens. Not under this construct that we're in, baby. Nothing just happens. In fact, you can go back to ancient myth. From the Sumerians to the Aztecs, they all spoke about serpent gods ruling over mankind. I talked about that Friday. We went into the whole possibilities of if we go back. In fact, I'm working on a show maybe this week that has all these little scriptures in the Bible that leads us to the road of reptilian beings. And maybe you may look at that and you may say, And if you're old enough, then you understand Arsenio Hall made a lot of money with the So we'll go there. The Bible itself, the book, the Almighty, the one that has billions in the most book that ever been sold, warns of serpent in high places. So I'm just giving you that as a little piece as we get ready to talk about shape-shifting, that if the book is the book and the word is the word, and the word is the word that's warning us about serpents, and it is the word, okay, supposedly, and arguably, that's what history says, and it says serpents in high places. Now, Okay, maybe you said, well, Roderick, high places, this could be mean heaven. Whoa. Let's do a pyramid here. A pyramid structure, the highest places, the sections of information and rules. Indigenous cultures all around the world, they talked about it too. And we're talking about our ancestors and everyone else. And so you got to look into where I'm going with this, what I'm saying. Now, we're talking, and then check this out, because I'm just throwing this out here because we're talking about shapeshifters, indigenous cultures. We're talking way back when, that was separated by oceans, millennia, which is time. Okay, are y'all following with me? You with me? Bueller, you get what I'm saying? We're talking about oceans, big oceans, where they didn't really have ships and stuff floating around back then. The Dogon tribes and all of those millennia, but they all described encounters with reptilian overlords. Coincidence or evidence? That's the two sides that we have to go with. There is no other. There's no ifs and buts and oh, maybe that's this. It either coincidence, which we already know what I said that's about, or evidence that it's a possibility that reptilian shapeshifters and all that is still here. And they've been here, they're walking among us, and they figure out a way to blend in to what we do. Now, the question is going to be why, and we're going to go into that in the third segment. We're just in the first segment of the show tonight. The question could be just why? Well, why? Well, we know the kids always ask why until we told them stop. I brought that in there. But if this is true, that our leaders are just corrupt, but they're not even human, maybe, okay? We just use that word, presumably, or whatever. Then we can go into elections, right? We can go into our government. Hollywood are not just control. They are theaters of the mind, okay? Oh, yeah, I just said that. That's powerful. Theater of the mind. And they're masking something older than history itself. And they figured it out how to hide it. Now, I know we walk this earth. I know some of you are so beautiful and fine and sexy and strong, and there's nothing out there other than you. Newsflash, there is. And it is something that we cannot see under the vibration that they have most of us in because of the things we'll talk about in the third segment. And this is why we don't see them. It's a real reason for that. But yeah, we're going to discuss ways to see them or to break free. We'll get into that. But before we do, we still got to talk about if it's true about what I'm talking about. Then we see the scandals, or we see as scandals, we see the mysterious unalives, the rituals among the elite. These things are not accident, people. They're part of that plan because nothing just happens. You can repeat that after me right now. We're not having church, ladies and gentlemen. You're not here for church, but I just want you to repeat after me. Nothing just happens. And if you can comprehend that, and you don't get cognitive distanceness and all of this stuff where you cannot believe what is true that is being false to you all your life, and you find out there's some truth and you cannot convert, or vice versa, where something has been true and now you know it's not true, or something is not true and you know it is true based on evidence and coincidence. No, evidence of reality and thought. Because most of the time we want it to be so complex. We want the information and proof to be so defined, lightning bolt style, that the most simplest information, or the way we need to see it, becomes difficult for us to understand because it's too simple. And that is going to be focusing on the why, not the how, because we all want to see how are they doing that? No, find out why, and then it'll answer all your questions. I'm just telling you. You get what I'm saying, right? You with me? You following with me, right? Come on, we're gonna go somewhere with this tonight, and we're gonna continue to go somewhere with it, and we're gonna keep going until we get a reptilian on the show who's gonna transform and say, "Man, you got me. Here I am." How we're gonna do that? We're gonna crowdsource this bad boy, and we'll talk about that at the end of this segment. So stick around for that. Therefore, we have implications of the shape-shifting, and we need to really dig into why it matters now, not back then, not tomorrow, but now, in the present time of where we are now, because it matters right now. It really does. And if things are true, then the world's most powerful institutions now, we're going to get into the layers. The government, the media, Hollywood, they're not just manipulating. And I've said this before, and I'm going to reiterate this message constantly here on Truth versus Authority. We are food. They're feeding off of you, me, us. Yeah, you too. Yes, you may. And yeah, we're going to talk about it in the third segment, and maybe something hit home with you that you go, dang, I didn't know. Whoa, well, maybe. But they're feeding off of us. How is that possible? Because Roderick, I eat McDonald's or I eat a hamburger. Well, that's only because somebody told us that was food. What if there was another source that we can feed off of that's totally different from, going out there and catching a cow or maybe a tree, chewing on a bush, like some of you? You get what I'm saying? Or, some of y'all say, well, I don't eat that. I'm a fruitarian or whatever that could be. I've heard all kind of word, pescatarian, fruitarian, meatitarian, peopletarian. I mean, there are so many diets out here. And if you can think about it, everybody surviving of all of these things, it won't be a little construed that somebody's feeding off our negative energy and feeding off of it. And it tastes good for them. And I'm going to explain that too. We're going to get into some of that. So we have to do it. And I'm looking, someone says, dude, are you associated too with Billy Carson, or are you on your own, not dependent on him? What is the question about that? What is the meaning? Give me your, why are you asking the question? Remember, it's not how, it's always why. I'm talking to AJ with InfoWars. He says, am I associated with Billy Carson? And of course, we know you're not damn Alex Jones. Come on, man. Alex Jones, come on, dude. Who? That's just one of a kind. You can't impersonate Alex Jones. Pick somebody else. But that's cool. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you, Because I would impersonate Barry White. Yeah, baby. But anyway, why are you asking that question? And then we'll continue. So you want to think of but I will be on Forbidden Knowledge tomorrow night doing a live stream just like this at 8:00, if that gives you a clue. Billy Carson and his wife is my business manager, if that gives you a clue. They are the publishers of my book, if that gives you a clue. And I can keep going. I don't know if that answers your question, but I just threw it out there for you so that you would know, so that you don't have to, whatever. So, but I want you to think about the obsession with bloodlines. As we get back, I took a little detour there. And among what I call the Rolos, the presidents, the billionaires, think of the rituals, the coded messages that we get in films these days. The elites, they're always protecting their own. We're seeing it now more than more in reality of life. And I will say that I believe that there is a conflict between them. This is what we see in today. And so we just need to stand back and let it fall, because they're fighting for it. Everybody wants us. We're in high demand. Everybody wants us as their cattle. So a cattle of energy. So they're fighting for us right now. You see it every day. Go watch some of the news. All right, we just got to sit back and wait for the winter. And hopefully they're not as thirsty as the other ones. Okay, but they're fighting. They're fighting. Somebody wants control of us. Okay, so just watch the fight. I'm telling you, focus on the fight. However, when you think about we've seen leaked videos, right? You've seen them. They're out there on the internet, and some of these things are not tampered with. Some of these things look really good, authentic as HELL, if you want to think about that. And it's one of those things that you look at. And I think that what we have to do, if you start thinking about it, what are we seeing out there? So we have to really take into account. What we have to do is take into account of what we're seeing. We're seeing eye shifting. We're seeing glitches on the live stream television. And the question is going to be, you got to ask, what are they hiding? Now, the glitching, David Icke talks about that all the time in all of his books. In fact, we'll go over one of the things he talks about in this particular book right here, The Global Conspiracy. And you see right there in the middle, the reptilian eye. Now, some people have a problem with David Icke stuff. I don't. Shoo, Lord, do not have a problem with his information. And I'm still trying to catch up and read all of the stuff that he has. I'm trying to find out if any of you know how to speed read or where I can learn I'm trying to learn photo reading. I got so much stuff that I need to read and comprehend and all. I need some help. But in the meantime, I can read a paragraph or two at a time, and it's getting me inch by inch as a cinch. That's how you eat an elephant. But anyway, let me get back on point. And more importantly, the question is why now? Because, see, there is a soft release of information that's happening right in front of our eyes. We seeing more UFOs. We'll get into that. Why all of a sudden breaking through the cracks of this illusion? And could it be that they're preparing for something bigger? Could it be? Ask yourself, why? Okay, I can get back into it. We are seeing a lot of stuff. We get more frequent. It's like they're desensitizing us for what is coming. 5 years ago, the UFO stuff was hot topic. Just to say something is flying around that is not an airplane, you are the bomb, the sugar honey iced tea. Now you say that to one of your kids and they laugh like, yeah, I see stuff all the time. Your 7-year-old, but just, Mom, I see. I was in the front yard yesterday and saw some stuff. We all remember Superman. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Superman. I grew up with that. Now it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a spaceship. Oh, shit. Oh, don't worry about that. It's no big deal. Who cares? All right. I do get something for that. Come on now. Yeah, come on. I get something for that. And you're right. UFO stuff is normal. It's normal now. It is normal as going to a McDonald's, or if you live in Dallas, where I live, it is normal as a church on every corner. I'm not lying to you. You come to the part of Dallas in my community, there's a church on every corner. If you go to hell in Dallas, it's your own fault. I'm telling you. If you move here and you go to hell, it's your own fault. Because it's a church on every corner. Every corner here. You go over to West Dallas, where some neighborhoods where there is listed 800 churches and there's probably 900 houses. I don't know. Well, maybe they know something we don't know. Anyway, that's bad. I'll get off of that. But are we approaching the moment when the mask fully comes off? And once again, if you just got here, we're talking about shape-shifting. We're going to get into deeper because they're everywhere or not. Coincidence or evidence? Do you have to see it to believe it? Is that the only reason that all the other little hints and sugar on tops, do you believe it that there's a possibility? Because see, my job is to give you enough information you can see, maybe you can read, you can hear, or whatever, to create the curiosity. That's all I want to do. To the possibility. See, those are two words. I'm going to create the curiosity to the possibility that not only we're not alone in this universe, okay, but there's some hidden people, things that are not human that could possibly be guiding our everyday influence, and not just because we're robots, because we are food. Food. Now, I don't know, and I got to say this right now. I don't know if all of you healthy people out there, because right, I'm out of control diabetic. I'm under control now. Okay, they took me off some of the meds, but I still got some stuff I need to get off, and get the body back. But there's some of y'all are just really thin and good looking and got all this higher energy. Maybe you're the prize. Maybe you're the prize, because when you're in a negative state, you got a lot of high neg energy. And so they're saying, well, you the one. And for me, maybe they don't want all this sweetness. I don't know. Because if they was going by size, I would have been gone. So maybe it's something else. Okay, so if ignored to what I'm talking about, we remain the prey. We're the cattle, oblivious to the slaughter, because it's mind slaughtering, not physical. Well, let me stop that. Oh my God. We do know there are some physical rituals and sacrifices and things that they do. And we're going to get into that a little bit, to why there's a portion of what they're doing. Okay. We're going to get into that. However, let's say we reveal this and we uncover one of the greatest secrets in human history. Well, I'm not talking about where the bones are buried. I'm not talking about the Holy Grail. Okay. I'm talking about one of the greatest secrets in human history. One of the things that we were told in the Bible that said, when the devil said the greatest thing that he could do is to make people believe he did not exist. Now, that's who we have a reference of, who and what the devil is. But in this case, if I was a reptilian, then I would probably follow the same blueprint to make you believe I don't exist, so I can continue to feed off what they call loosh. Loosh is our negative black energy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we know we got a plenty of it. How many of you felt a little negative today? And how many of you had an argument with somebody in the last 30 days and created some negative energy? I ain't say everybody, but some of you have. Or watch some negative stuff, something. We'll get into that. However, as I continue, and what happens next determine whether we will ever see the world the same again. We have to go beyond the titles and, oh, Roderick, just wake up. Forget that mess, man. Come on, that is like way back there. Man, we got to ascend in some more spiritual areas. We got to go deeper than just waking up. Waking up is just having access and knowing the knowledge, but applying, oh, now we're going to go somewhere with that, because I need to get better at it too, period. So I'm not pointing no fingers. I can't throw no rock at you. You can throw one at me. But hey, how can we get this going? So before we get more deeper into the shape-shifting stuff, let me take you back, because ancient reptilian myth is also, once again, in global culture. So go start connecting the dots by yourself. You got the Sumerians. Where do you hear that from? Yeah, you hear a lot about that on Forbidden Knowledge. Billy talks about that. You got the Anunnaki. That is one of the main cornerstone stories. But yet people don't go deep enough to see that there's a lot of reptilian references to the Anunnaki. But they don't want to do that. You got the Aztecs. You got the Quetzalcoatl, or whatever, how that's pronounced. You got the Indians, the Nagas. They all describe reptilian gods ruling over mankind. Are they making this up? Is it coincidence or is it evidence? That's the question for tonight. Are we making this up? And so if they're not making it up, then they're still here because they have not given us the highway in the exit strategy that they use to leave. No one wants to ask that question. No one to know why. No one going there. All we want to do is just go look for this. People, nobody told us that they left. Hell, there's books saying they left 300 behind. Okay, whatever. 300 who? There's no one said where the dinosaurs went and how they left. We just don't see them. Okay? So maybe they never left. Maybe some came and flattened them out and put something else here. But whatever it is, we don't see exit strategies. I'm just saying. We don't see the exit strategies. Now, biblical references, we can get into that, to serpents in high places. Now, we can go into coincidence or a timeline of control that never ended. It's there every day in plain sight, just how we read it. Now, let's talk about shape-shifting and what we call modern allegations, though. I just took you in the past. I took you in the past because they didn't have technology like we do or did, or they probably didn't even need it. They were more advanced. Actually, being honest, we're a lot dumber than we were to our ancestors. They didn't need cell phones to talk. They can just send, bam, boom. Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. Bing. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need none of that stuff that we got to use today, dialing up phone. They dialed up your frequency and sent you a message. They didn't need to go to the hospital, and all they did get around in a circle, and they all started hemming and raising vibrations and healing each other. Oh yeah, moving rocks and there were stories and myths that they can go hunting and they can use their energy or whatever this thing in their body, and the animal just dropped dead, and they go, "Thank you, I can eat you today." No, we got to go hunting. We got to go dress up in camouflage. Unfair, number one. Because there's no way that we're going to get them on their own accord. I don't even give a damn if it's a wild pig. If we don't dress up in traps and put food traps and camouflage, bow and arrows, and it was man to man, rubbish to rubbish, animal to animal, we'd probably be starved. Or our ancestors, like I said, they had a way of just knocking them out. I'm just saying. I know. So anyway, shape-shifting in the modern allegations today, we have eyewitnesses accounts of politicians, celebrities, eye glitching, pupils. We see it everywhere. People are talking about it everywhere. And we got reports of sudden, unexplained transformations caught on live TV. We catch it, and it disappears in oblivion because they can bury those stories. Now, what I want to do, so for us Dallas groups and all of us to get together, and y'all can do subgroups in other cities, I think it's time for us to go on the offensive about the reptilian stuff. And I guarantee you, we get enough of us out there asking people, either one is going to surface because they got humor probably, or somebody's going to point us and we're going to start hearing more stories because we can now go and talk about what they don't want to talk about. So when we do our Dallas outing, we're going to look ridiculous maybe, but we're going to ask some people, what do you think about reptilian stuff? I guarantee you out of 100 people, somebody's going to give us a look and go, and going to say, I saw one. And that's when we're going to be on it because we need the address, telephone number, and all of that, right? I'm telling you, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Yvonne says, Roderick, reptilians, I believe, are part of our past. We have so much to learn. Thousands, maybe millions of years, portals would make sense to me be cryptids or real dogmans, Anubis, Bigfoot. Yeah, I'm not. I agree with you that they're out there. They're out there. So anyway, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We also have connections between elite bloodlines and these anomalies. We talk about the 13 bloodlines. We got that. We talked about that, right? So we're get into that on a little deeper, the Illuminati bloodlines. Now, there's a distinction between, I want you to know, of the 13 Illuminati bloodlines and when we're just talking about the Illuminati. Those are two different stories. When I talk about the bloodlines of the Illuminati, in most cases, although I do get into the celebrity stuff and symbolism, I talk about those original bloodlines that tie all the way back to reptilian bloodlines, the blue bloods. Make no mistake about it. When you hear me say 13 original Illuminati bloodline, I want you to put to the side that we're talking about Illuminati. When you see Jay-Z and all these people with the pyramids and esoteric knowledge and the pyramid structure, all CNI, that is a secret society. But there is a portion that goes back to blue bloods. That's what we talk about. So remember that when we go there. And the question is, why are these elites are obsessed with bloodlines? See, that's where we need to go looking. Why? Why are they obsessed with bloodlines? We hear it all the time. We already know, if people did the history, that every president of the United States of America is related, cousins somewhere. The proof is there. Due to genealogy, all their distant cut, they got the same DNA somewhere, and yet we think there's a left and a right. That's politics. I'm not even going to get into that. That'll break our whole audience up because we can't come together on politics and religion. Those are two things, and politics is a religion. Just let you know. Royals, U.S. presidents, Hollywood elites, they all intermarry within the same chosen family. Go find out for yourself. I guarantee you, you're going to find some coincidence, or you're going to find some evidence. But either way, nothing just happens. I want you to know that. Nothing just happens. It just don't. It just don't. Also, theory suggests that certain DNA strains are more compatible with their true forms. That's why they looking for those things. They look for it across the board. It's always been about DNA. We talked about that with the mind control experience, all of that. How, Roderick, are you familiar with Stuart Swirlow? He has a lot of information about reptilians in his book, The World's History Humanity Saga. I never heard of it. Let me write that down. I have not heard of them. We need to, as a collective, I'm not getting enough success. Maya and a couple of us, we cannot do it by ourselves. We need to contact anybody on social media that claims they saw a reptilian. We need them on the show. I'm begging for this. And in fact, after this segment, in about 20 seconds, we're going to figure something out that we can do. But appreciate it, Rich. I'll look that up. All right. And let me see. Stuart Sword Low. Okay, so we talk about the certain DNA strains, and now in that Monarch program and in all of that, everything was based on DNA. But if you go back to the blue bloods and all that, it's based on DNA. And we got to look at it. And now the significance of everything else is of rituals, secrecy, hidden genetic research in elite circles. People, it's happening all the time. It's happening all the time. Now, we think about when every citizen of the United States were born, how they took your DNA that you think they don't got, the placenta or pieces of that from the mother. They're searching for something they've always had. They always have. But the question is this illusion cracking, and why now? Why are they being so steadfast on trying to cover up everything? They're trying. They're trying. And why do more people than ever claim to see through the deception? You're getting people now seeing it. Seeing it. Now, one of the most emotional one was that lady on the plane. Y'all remember that? I think we don't ever know what she saw, but I know it was shape-shifting, whatever it was. And I believe the story. However, people say all kinds of stuff these days. Yeah, I know we got other kind of aliens and extraterrestrials, whatever, from everywhere, but there could be and is a possibility that there's something around here that is not in our best interest, people. It's just not. But here's where it gets even darker. Oh, because the question isn't, are they real? It's why they are here. And that's why I think we need to be focusing on next. And so we're going to go into that in our next segment here. And more terrifyingly, are they planning to reveal themselves soon? That is something that we will go. Now, in the meantime, real quickly, let me give you a couple of quick announcements here. We have to do it. I'm sorry. Number one, as you know, I'm up for the 3rd Annual Conscious Award category author. So definitely, do your vote. There's a text number at the top. You can vote. Text your vote in 945 whatever 254-8006 up there, and do Roderick. I'm in a category with Paul Wallace, Troy Mylans, Mike Rashid, or whatever. Great people. All of them great people. But here's the actual book, The Unspeakable Truth. There is a link in the description is for pre-order. We want to make it for a bestseller, and when we do, you're going to hear one of the biggest announcements ever when the time comes. So I want you to make sure that you do that. Now, the last announcement, real quick. We was talking about gematria, these 3 books, Numbers and Letters, which is the foundation of it all. It is now in the members' secret area in our Patreon. So go in there and download it. I want you members to read the first 15 pages. Post your comments because it's going to blow you away. Although that one is bigger than this one. It's the original. But go check that out. I want you to check it out, okay? But it's in the areas from there. All right. So with that being said, let's get into our next segment. All right, so you think this is just power when we get into what we're talking about? Nope. This is not about control. It's about ownership when we're talking about this reptilian thing and the shape-shifting. The political dynasties, the media empires, the entertainment elite, they aren't just running the world, they're harvesting the world. Yes, they're harvesting the world. And I could use the word terrifying part, but the more concerning part is that we might not even be their first experiment, right? We may not be. Now, I know you might be like, what do you mean harvesting? What's that? Well, think about what the meaning of harvesting is. That's what I'm talking about. Collecting. Putting it all together, getting whatever. I don't care if it's wheat back in the religious days, whatever you want to talk about. And the other part is, are we just resources to them? It ain't that part of, they need us. They got the people working for them. And I know you might be like, okay, and for me, I need to understand their end game. Not just for me, but for my children and next generations and generations. There's an end game to this. And the question is, how do we fight back from it? And third segment, we will get into that. But we assume that the governments, the ruled nations, the corporations, they drive economies, and the celebrities are just performers. But when we trace those connections, we see a disturbing pattern that these industries are not just linked, they are coordinated, which makes sense, like I said before in the first segment, of, reptilians. If you can shapeshift, why would you want to be a person living under a bridge? Hell, why would you even want to be Roderick Martin? You get what I'm saying? When you could be someone else, or Julia Roberts, or a Rihanna. I'm just using for example. If you had some choices, and you can live that lifestyle, easily get what you need, easily have servants and people treating you like a god without you being a true god. So why would you want to do that? Well, what if the structure isn't human at all that we're talking about? What if the system, older than recorded history, is designed to manipulate, to consume, to operate like a machine with living components? Hint, hint. And I'm not even getting into that in the conversation today, but I'm going to repeat that last sentence for you, though. What if this designed to manipulate, consume, operating like a machine with living components? Does that sound familiar to any of you right now? And we're not even talking about it. That's why I'm just going to leave it out there. But a machine with living components. Does that not sound familiar with you right now? But I'll give you one word: transhumanism. Look it up. But if the history is not real, if it's all false, it's just a series of random events, like most people are gonna say. Roderick, just random stuff, man. It ain't, none of this stuff is real, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not real. It's not real at all. There's a link in the description for my book. Pre-order, please. We need to make it a. So thank you, Yvonne. Appreciate it. However, if it's true, then what we call civilization is just a form with invisible shepherds. Invisible shepherds. Think about that. I want you to get at some thought where we think is happening. But some people are just going to ignore it, though. And when you ignore it, you're just going to remain a cog in a machine where we were never meant to see. And sometimes you may just want to stick your head in the sand and don't want to look. It's okay. Just remember your anus is still sticking up. They can still stick you in the behind. And people are doing it all day long. Just remember that. So we see the signs everywhere, yet we dismiss them as coincidence. They do it all the time. The obsession with, they have an obsession with sacrifices. We hear about it. We read about it. We see the news. They slip it out all the time. Blood rituals. We hear the elites across history. They're not really hiding it. We just don't want to look there. Remember I said earlier in segment 1, when it comes down to the shape-shifting and all this ideology and ideas, some people just say, I just don't want to go there. And they call themselves truth seekers. You cannot be a truth seeker and you're not willing to go in a no-go area. David Icke preaches on that. That's one of his trainings. You can't do it. It doesn't make sense. You got to go there. And I would admit, there was areas I wouldn't go in the past. I just wouldn't. You heard me say the other day, well, you know what? I don't want to take us down a religious path. And then I thought about the teaching and I've just learned some new stuff. I watched some of his training and I'm like, we're going to go down a religious path with the reptilian agenda. We got to seek the truth. I would be doing y'all a disservice if I did not give you the whole bigger picture and be afraid to do it. And that means we can go out in public and ask people. I would love to, at some point, do a contribution to some church and get their pastor to come in and read those exact scriptures and tell me exactly what that means. because what we think it means is not what it means. Is that not talking about a serpent or whatever? Let them explain that one. And I'm going to tell them, you can convert some people on my show. He'll love to come and do his will. Eat that up. I probably don't have to give them no money, no contribution. They'll be like, yo, you got some sinners on your show. We're all truth seekers, wherever you want to say that. I'm not saying sinners. And what is that? You get what I'm saying? But you can come and they'll eat that shit up. Excuse me. They'll eat it up. However, the strange identical architects and capitals around the world, think about it. We got all of these mystery obsoletes and all this monuments everywhere. So where I'm going with this is, if the monuments are everywhere and the signs of the past is everywhere, then they are here everywhere. They never left. They never left. And if they are responsible for some of our DNA, then let us make man in our image and then change a little bit. Then they walk it among us some kind of way. Or they got the technology, technical advancement to hide in plain sight through the glitches and systems that they have to manipulate humans and our vision and our vibrations. However, the continuous disappearing of people, especially our small adult versions of ourselves, with no explanations, but I do have some, and I'll get into it. I'm going to give you an excerpt out of this book of David Icke's The Global Conspiracy in our third segment. But what if these things are not random, people? I need you to start thinking. Nothing just happens. Repeat out to me. Nothing just happens. When you leave the show tonight, nothing just happens. Period. That part, whatever I got to say, however you get it, however you catch it, nothing just happens. That is a phrase for the month or the rest of the month. Nothing just happens. Period. However, if the system that they created feed off of us, then the world is a feeding ground and not a society. All right. I'm not trying to put fear out there, but I'm just giving you the way a THI is. If that's how you want to say it is. We can talk about the rituals, the disappearances. Are they deliberate? Then one of the most horrific fears of humanity is that they're just on the surface of truth, man. We're just scratching the surface when it comes down to all of this. Now, I'm not telling you there's something we're going to just wake up tomorrow and do, but you can limit you being a resource. And we're going to get into that in the next few minutes on down the road. And if this has been happening for thousands of years before you and I got here, then the real history of Earth has been erased and rewritten. That's one of the things, because you got to think about, can they rewrite history? And why would they? And were there people or things or whatever, ancestors, clever enough to leave us clues, things that we will look at it and go, darn. And they say it all the time. We got clues everywhere. Someone said, we need to do this, build this, put this here for a clue. And the question is, what do they want? This isn't just about remaining hidden. No, I don't think they're trying to do that as much as we think. It's about engineering something new that we just talked about. And the evidence is in our faces. They got genetic research, human-animal hybrid experiments, forced transhumanism, AI merging. All of that's happening right now because they don't have to use the old monarch programming that we talk about here all the time which still exists, by the way. They don't have to use entertainment, which means to get a person and keep their attention. And then that tool is created by Hollywood, which is a magical place based on the Hollywood tree and the magic wands. They don't have to then put things on television and use stuff called channels to reach you in different levels, and programming called TV programming to do what they do. Y'all get the formula, right? You understand where I'm going with this, correct? Nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. I know y'all probably saying, Roderick, he just talking. All right, go watch some of the television tonight and tell me what you see. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And what if the real goal isn't not just to rule us, but to replace us? Not in physical form, but to replace us. And think about it. Why they have exceptions with DNA databases? Think about it. Like I said, they're all looking for a pure bloodline. Why global power suddenly pushing genetic modification and synthetic biology at the same time? They're doing this at the same time. See, we thought about MK Ultra when the CIA was exposed and Congress said, hey, you can't use humans and blah blah blah. We're going to expose the plan. I'm taking a detour here. But we did read between the fine lines, says you just can't use federal money. You could still mind control some humans. You could still do that. Well, I am live streaming, and then they see you a little bit. But I do got a bone to pick with you. But I am live streaming, and they can hear you. We got a few hundred people here. So why don't you just jump on the YouTube, and I will confirm that I'm going to talk about you. How about that?
You're gonna confirm that?
Yes, go ahead and go to YouTube, Roderick Martin, Truth versus Authority right now, and I'm going to hang up so I can finish my show. But I am saying this in front of all these people. I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
All right, goodbye. All right, so what I'm saying is, this is a real live show, people. We're live. But the point that I'm making is the reptilian people exist. They're everywhere, right? They're everywhere. Now, you just saw one of the control mechanisms that they use. Yeah, I mean, this phone that I just received a phone call from a friend of mine, but the whole point is this is part of their technology. This is what they're doing. And once again, they're hiding right here because they never left. Shapeshifters are here, and they've been here. And people, in our next segment, after I go through this, we're going to get into why they're here. I'm going to get into why they're here. I'm going to tell you what they're doing to us, why it is called loosh, and I'm going to tell you how you are feeding them. We all are feeding these things, not just reptilians, but parasitic entities, all of this stuff. They're just eating. They're just having a golly old time. They don't got to go to McDonald's. They don't have to go and get all this bad food that we thinking about because we create the bad food for them. All right. I'm not done. We're going to get into it. But if you want to ignore what I'm talking about and you want to sleepwalk, and you can, because it's not just about being awake no more. Like everybody, like I'm woke, I'm wake. Man, you got to go past that point. And we're going to talk about that next segment. You got to raise, you got to ascend, you got to get into a whole nother ball game. And it's time for us to do that as a collective. Forget all that kumbaya stuff. We got to get some real methods, methodology, spirituality, point blank, go here, turn left, do right, and there is the doorway to pure energy. We'll get to that. All right, so what are we talking about? If we say if it's not true about shapeshifters, then our leaders are just puppets. They are prototypes for something beyond human because they're figuring this out. They've been doing this for quite some time. Oh, they've been doing this for quite some time. But the next phase may be irreversible. So stick with me, because we're already in it. Absolutely. And while we're already in it, repeat out to me. I've been saying this all night since the first segment. Nothing just happens. You have to know that. Nothing just happens. However, let's talk about humanity's role as a resource, as you are food. Patterns of human sacrifice and mass disappearance in history. Are these tribute payments to these people, deities? Do they require payments? Oh, okay. We all can go with the buzz of what we hear about the Illuminatis and celebrities, or maybe there was a sacrifice. There was a video that this guy I saw on whatever, which, okay, let me give you an example real quick. You can't be part of the Illuminati. They don't bring you in. You can be a part of it. But that other real Illuminati is bloodline. Just want you to know. So when you see some people saying we're Illuminati, they're working with them. They are not them. You gotta you that's blue blood. You're gonna have to be in the bloodline for that. However, there's rappers there talking about one guy. He was like, "Oh, I gave up one of my kids." Y'all remember that, right? If you've seen it on social media, he said, "I gave up one of the kids," and he said, "Oh, by the way, I can make another one. I can make another kid." That's a sacrifice. That's a tribute payment. Somebody says, "I want payment." Now the elites they access hidden technologies. Do they know something we don't? See, this is the difference between exoteric knowledge and esoteric knowledge. Now, some people will believe that you have esoteric knowledge because you know about, I don't know, something that someone else doesn't know. Most people think that that is what is happening. People, that is not esoteric knowledge. That is the stuff that we talk about that we got to climb down. We got to understand symbolism. We got to understand all of this stuff that they're doing right in plain sight. And they know the stuff. And I've said it before. I was talking to someone yesterday about it, or today. You start talking about religious, right? And the reptilians and all of this stuff. And you start talking about astrology and all of the things that my church that I was going to will condemn you for talking about zodiac stuff, but yet you go to all the ancient 100-year-old churches, even here in Dallas, they all got the gateways, the portals sitting there, the archways. They all got the zodiac over every entrance because Plato and Socrates says that the zodiac is the gateway to heaven. And those old churches knew what it was, but yet they tell us to look this way, pray this way, go this way, while they're over here accessing all the knowledge that we don't have. That's esoteric knowledge because we don't know it. And it's occult knowledge, which, like I said before in show number one, that not show number one, but our first segment is that you can't have a no-go area when you're talking about you're a truth seeker. There's no way. There's no way you can't say my hypocrisy stops here. You're going to have to go to the dark places. You're going to think about what these demons are up to. You're going to have to see what these deities are up to, because you might find there's some good deities and some bad ones. There he is. Then you're going to find out that there's no truth in this story that you've been believing, the greatest story ever told. Then you're going to find out all of this hidden stuff, and you're going to keep going and keep going. And then you're going to see a very dark doorway, and you're still alive, but this doorway is dark as get out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that no-go area. But you're a truth seeker, and you better walk through it if you're looking for the truth. And I'm going to make a promise to you, and I've said it before, there's places that I said I wouldn't go on this show. The hell with that now. We're going to go. And then we're going to go deeper in our private areas. So if you don't have a membership to that, that's fine. We're going to enlighten some people in there, though. It's in our Patreon. As our moderators, you can put it up for them, or it's a link in the description, because we can't talk about it on the air. It's our uncensored secrets area. We need that. We have to have it. If you're going to get the information, you got to have it. The other part of this is they're constantly monitoring our biology. And why does the system need to track every human's DNA? Why do they need to do that? There's a reason for that. They're looking for something. They're looking for it because DNA is sent down over and over and over. You can change the way somebody looks over time. You can change a person from looking one race to another race just by interbreeding, but you can't change that DNA. It's there. There are some codes, genetic codes that don't go nowhere. It's well beyond fingerprints, people. It doesn't go anywhere. It's a code. And we talk about numbers and stuff anyway. So today, like I said, we're already in it. We're in the push, and stick around because this next segment, I'm almost done with this segment. And then our third segment is about the food. Why are they eating us? What are we going to do about it? How do we stop being food for them? I'm going to go through some suggestions for that because you got to know it. I'm going to bring up some scenarios, and then you might just agree with me. You felt that way, and you're going to know why you felt that way and why it was done, period. Because nothing just happens. Y'all, you with me on it, right? Y'all with me? Okay. So why we got the sudden push for transhumanism in AI? It ain't because they're trying to bring in technology to make things smarter and better for us. No, that ain't darn near why that's not happening. You don't believe that, do you? That is not why. Technology is to advance human civilization. You can use it for that, but it's a system. Someone controls the system. Just let you know that. What if merging us with machines is like a Trojan horse for something non-human to inhabit us? Because you remember, the life force is our life force. That don't mean that the brain can't be controlled. There's a big difference. You know that, right? Of course you do. You know it. The brain is not the life force. Your consciousness is not the life force. Your consciousness is separate from this vessel that we're in. So they can control the consciousness, and then they're going to control the vessel. They get what they want. And since we can't see consciousness, we don't really understand it because most of us want to go with, I only see what I believe. There's where the problem lies. Because we don't see them manipulating us. But I said it, and I'll say it again. They do it through the system. They do it through the television. They do it through these phones. They do it through social media. They do it through programming. And words don't lie. Go look up the Black's Law Dictionary. All of these words are there. The words that they're using that we think is over here is harmless, it's a true meaning. This is why in gematria, the words, numbers, and letters, and my insiders, go in there tonight, it's up. Read it. Read the first 15 pages and let us discuss it this Thursday. Okay? It's powerful. We're going somewhere with this stuff. Why are the same elite bloodlines funding the AI conscious projects? See, this is where once you see it, you can't not see it. This is why these shapeshifters are doing what they do. Go look. And like I said, it's a difference between the 13 bloodlines, which is also in our secret area. So y'all go look that up. I already put that in there for you to read, study. From the Illuminati that you hear about every day on TV. That is, man, I'm telling you, they got us looking at them. There's another insidious, another organization of people that are not operating, and they're way up here, way up there. And I know it's a story. How can a few people control billions? They can do it because all they got to do is make us feel and think that we're free. And we're in a system and there's nobody controlling us and there's no fences. But yet you can't get your butt off this planet with your soul. Oh, shucks. I shouldn't have said that. That's a soul trap. We're going to talk about that later on in the shows to come. Your soul ain't going nowhere. They got it trapped. Yeah, it's a soul net. Yep. Look that rumor up. But let's go into genetic engineering, and then we're going to get ready to go into the final segment to get you out of here. The hybridization, why DNA modification technology exploded this last decade. There's a reason for that. Reports on human-animal hybrid experiments are high. because they're trying to create something that they can house them in. They know they can't, because see, people, let me warn you before we get into the third segment. An uncontrollable human mind is the most powerful thing in the world. That's the problem. They fear it, and it can be unbound. It can be unbound. It can be enlightened. It can be totally free of what they're doing. And they're going to have enough other people to feed off of, but you can be free. You can free your children. You can't go run up and trying to free other people, though, because you can't be a Mother Teresa. You know that, right? You cannot want something better than what people want for themselves. You just can't do it. Many people have perished. Many of you have been in relationships of love, wanting something more than they wanted for themselves, and it ate you up. Don't go there. That's just, I'm talking general, okay? Now, the countdown to full disclosure. Let's go there real quickly before we get into the third segment. And why now? Why are the governments leaking UFOs and non-human intelligence reports? They're leaking this stuff out. Do you think we got whistleblowers who are feeling more comfortable because they're leaking stuff out? Or are they preparing us for something? See, I've said it when I first got into this field. If you know, my information DNA is all about UFOs. If you didn't know, you can go look me up right now. I'm in 11 different TV shows. I got the pedigree, right? I'm on a UFO show on Discovery Plus. I hosted there a couple of years ago. It's there still. I'm on Amazon Prime. I'm in 3 on Amazon. I'm on HBO right now. You can go HBO Max and I'm on there. I'm on Forbidden Knowledge. Okay. I'm on Fox Tubi. Oh yeah, this is why I'm talking to you. Yeah, I was featured on Ancient Aliens, the History Channel. Okay. I got a soon book coming out, The Unspeakable Truth, which is talking about all of this stuff and taking us into a whole area of things. But I've always said there's a plan with this UFO stuff, because see, they baited us in for 70 years to tell you that the government lies. Don't believe him, Bernard. Y'all seen that in whatever, Shane. Don't believe him, Bernard. Y'all seen that one? That was a funny scene. But they got us believing not to believe that the government lies. And all of a sudden, now the government is sending out stuff, and we got to go back and program the people and say, well, they are telling the truth. They're now releasing disclosure. Really? People, the game of disclosure will never go away. They're going to change the rules, but the game ain't going to never go away. And as long as they got the rules and they can change them to the way they want and only tell us what we know and what they want us to know, because they put that in place when they did the 4 acts. Well, let's get off of that. Hollywood, the magical place, is flooding media with alien and hybrid narratives. They all are doing it right now. They're preparing your minds. And if an event is coming, we're going to be told the truth or just another lie. That's what they're going to do. But here's where it gets terrifying, because if the plan is already in motion, I believe that. And the real question isn't what they are, but what comes next. And ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness the moment when they step out of the shadows pretty soon. And will they reveal themselves is the question, or for worse. They're gonna step out the shadows. They have to, because we're seeing more. We're gonna move into our third and final segment. And I'm gonna hit you hard real quickly, if you're ready. If you haven't any value in tonight's show, I need to know, because I'm off of affirmation. I'm off of affirmation. You know, I like to be told, Roderick, you're a good guy, or you're doing a good job, or you handsome today. I need all of that stuff. I need the positive energy. I need it. So if you got something good to say it right now. I can read it. I can feed off of it. I can give you more energy, because I'm going to take that positive energy and we're going to do it, and we're going to go deeper. But you're going to have to share this channel too. So let's get ready to move into our third segment. And let me just do my little clip, because I'm going to break this down later. Now, this segment that I'm about to get into, I call it the energy war or the last awakening. And I have a reason for that for you. And we're going to get into it because you feel it. Every single day, you feel it. You feel the exhaustions. You feel the frustration, the nagging sense that something is draining you. Come on, don't play with me. You feel it. I know you feel it because I got friends that say, oh, I was tired today. And what did you do? We didn't lift 5 oxes like they did, our ancestors did. We didn't pick 20,000 bales of cotton, right? Or we didn't work in coal mines like other people. Or we didn't go build railroad tracks. We're not doing that. That's some hard work. And I'm not saying what you do is not hard, but you feel it every day. You say, oh man, I'm draining. Your focuses, your willpower, and your very soul. All this is at war right now. And I'm not just making this up, but I'm going to give you enough information that you need to go look up for yourself. Don't come and rely. Well, prove it. Prove it. You feeling it. So if you're going to lie and say you don't feel it, don't lie. Please, this is not the day to do that. Be honest with yourself. Be a mirror. And you get where I'm going with that. Okay? You get where I'm going. Meemaw says, love you and the work you do. Stay strong. Keep going. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thomas says, heavy. Thank you for the honesty. Thank you. Someone said, I felt it for 30 years. Thank you. But what if that feeling isn't just in your head? You're not crazy. I've said that, right? Got a whole video up. You're not crazy. What if that feeling is not just in your head? What if the world isn't just chaos or all this chaotic stuff, but designed to be this way? See, we just say, oh, the world is just crazy. People do it now. Oh, the world is just full of chaos. But what if it was designed that way? Not if the world is. Oh, it's just like that. Because like I told you, coincidence, and there's a lot of coincidental people these days, and they call themselves truth seekers. If you're a coincidental truth seeker, I need you to get to the other side as quickly as possible, because there is no random events, people. There is no, and I'm going to say it again in this segment, nothing, repeat out to me. Come on, I know, come on. Nothing, you can do it, you can do it. Come on, I ain't forcing you. Nothing just happens. I'm just telling you, nothing just happens. Period. Don't go there. But the part of this is wait, because you want to think about it, or you're saying our energy being harvested. So I'm just trying to make like somebody asked me that question. Roderick, are you saying our energy is being harvested? How can I better answer that question for you better than me answering it for you this way?
You damn right, wise ass.
Yes, you're right. And if you didn't get it, are our energy being harvested?
You damn right.
So I hope you got it. I've been waiting to do that for 4 months now. What if my own emotions are a food source? Absolutely. They are a food source. Yes, they are. Absolutely. Food source 101. They even put it in the movie The Matrix, and they was telling us about all of that. And you can sit here and say, well, Roderick, I ain't no battery system. Try that and see how you get away with that one. Long as you producing energy, you are a system of plug-in too. We're going to talk about how you can make this type of energy that they don't want, because you can't stop being energy. Just let you know. But you can produce positive, unusable energy versus the energy, the loosh that they need. But you cannot stop being an energy source. So don't play that, because you're going to be a source of energy, whether it's for me or someone else, because we're going to exchange positive energy to each other. We have to. That's how we are getting it. Each other. We're combining. That's why we got our community here, because we're bringing the energy together to exchange. You can have some of mine. I can have some of yours. Right? Of course. You're in a given mood. But we wake up tired. We go to bed anxious, most of us. We feel like we never have enough energy, even when we sleep, even when we eat well. There's some of you eat like a true goddess of foods and still have days where your energy is not there. And if you want to be honest, be honest. Some of you may eat like royal rabbits, but there's a situation behind that. Yes, Tina explicitly detailed what harvesting the earth could look like. Thank you. Thank you for, oh, here we go. And y'all give Kamala, is it Kamala Harris? All right, Kamala Harris. Shit. We got Alex Jones in here tonight. Kamala Harris, and they're giving. You go with your bad self. I'll take it. I'll take it. Love it. Yeah, y'all give her a shout out. All right, so where I'm going with this is that we're totally distracted emotionally. We're hijacked and we're mentally bombarded with fear, outrage, and division. Period. All the time. The news, I said it, the entertainment, the social media conflicts, it all pulls us into a state of stress, anger, or despair. And the biggest question is why? I've said it, and I'll continue to harp on it. Stop focusing on what they are doing. Stop passing, liking, sharing what they are doing. You don't even have to share what I'm doing. You share why I do what I do, and I guarantee you it'll reach where it needs to go. Focus on why they do what they do, and it'll take you down a rabbit hole to start seeking the truth. But right now, they got everybody distracted on how, because that's what they're talking about, and they think they're having a conversation. They think they're telling the truth when they're telling you how they did this. That is not the truth. Can't be. It's a distraction. If you're going to spend your time spreading how somebody did something, and you want to keep spreading the rumor of how they did it, instead of getting intelligent enough to go into why they did it, then you're going somewhere with information. But they don't tell you why on the news. You never hear why. You don't hear it. They just pass us the headlines of what is happening. And we subscribe to that every day. We got news feeds of why, what is happening every day. But nobody is focusing on why it's happening. And that's the most important thing that you're going to have to focus on. Why it's happening. And then you're going to know why they're shape-shifting. You're going to know why they're here shape-shifting and hiding in plain sight. But we're going to touch on that because I told you we would. Because if life is just normal stress, then why do we need relief that never lasts? See, I'm studying some stuff, and I just ran across some data on the Rosicrucian or cruising or whatever. The roles, there's kind of like an ideology. But one of the things he pointed out in this initiation information I'm reading, I'm not becoming that, but I'm reading because I'm going to go places I'm not supposed to go, was that one of the things he said, he looked at the tree of life. I'm just taking a quick detour. And I can't draw it exactly how it's supposed to look, but I think you all will get the picture. It's kind of something like this, okay? And he talks about how we're so much distracted, especially the people who think that they are woke. Oh my, if it'll rub some feathers right now. That these woke people spend so much time with themselves that are like a turtle. And they will tell you, because they're going to call you, I had to take some time for myself. And these people, it's a challenge because there's a lot of other stuff lacking. Now, I'm talking about self-love. You're going to have self-love. But it equates into what he was teaching is that they're at the bottom of, and they're half off on the spectrum of the tree. So they're here and there, but they're not there and there because they're so focused on spending their time that they become disassociative. You'll hear it. You can hear it. You can call some friends. They'll disappear on you. They'll disappear for days and on days because they're not thinking about the friendship that they have with you because you're calling, checking on them, or you're trying to say, hey, how are you doing? They focus on themselves to a point to where it's a turtle in themselves and they're disconnected from the reality. And it's no different being distracted on you when our love is outward. Our love is like this. That's why I tell you, I love y'all. I love you. I really do. And you need to hear it. Because if nobody's told you they love you today, I'm telling you, I love you. I really do. I don't even have to. I love you. Seriously. I love what I do. And I love you. And I love the love that I get because I can reciprocate it and give it back. I'm not going to take the love and lock it in here because I got all this love for myself and you don't get none of it. You can't have it. All right, that was my detour, but it's all about our energy. It's all about our energy. All right, so y'all give Nina a thank you and hit that like button, smash the button, and all of that. So let me continue down this road. So what if our suffering? Well, let me back up. If the energy is just not physical, or if we can't control our emotions, then why do we feel like we can't escape the negativity? See, that is a hard question tonight. A lot of us feel that we are in control of our emotions, but we can't escape the negativity. It is a powerful force. It's around us. It's a system, and it's there every way we turn. There's negativity everywhere. Okay, that goes, well, oh, this is why I shut off. Yeah, right. That is, and you can, and I'm not saying take some time off to yourself. You're going to always have some me time. So don't let me scratch that up, okay? So don't take it and start saying Roderick said this and that. You get what I'm talking about for these turtles. That's what we're going to call some of these things, turtles. Or ostrich with the head in the sand. But if energy is just physical, then why do people feel spiritually depleted after consuming media and engaging online? A lot of us do that. I was just alluding to that because this is when they do this. This is when we decide that we want to go into a shell. There is no way possible that I would live stream 5 days a week, and most of you know this, if I wanted to take a week or two off to be by myself. You know what happens? It's a whole change of things. But I can take a few hours, I can take a moment to relax, and I can do my breathing exercises. Yes. But I'm not going to disappear from you all this time. Because, hey, we're in this together, y'all, right? We're in this together. That's all I'm saying. However, what if our suffering isn't an accidental? It's not an accident. What if negativity is a currency that fuels something unseen? Now, people, you're getting where I'm going with this. While we look at negativity as negative, what if it's the most powerful currency on the world? People are doing nefarious things for it. They're spending billions of freaking dollars to create it. They're spending multi-level money to make sure it happens. Maybe negativity is the biggest currency that we can never fathom, and we are the banks. We're carrying it. We're financing it through our traumas, through all of this stuff, because somebody says it's the best food for them. And we're talking about reptilians. We're talking about deities, the bad ones. We're talking about all these parasitic energy zappers. And some of them are humans too. Okay. But it's a big currency. It's a big currency. I'm not just going off the hill, you know. I'm just telling you where we're going with this. We got about another 15 minutes, and I'm going to hit it hard for you. Ancient cultures spoke of parasitic entities. Our ancestors talked about it. They've seen them, felt them. They know that they thrive off a low vibrational energy. Go look back, go meditate and speak to your ancestors. They told us that parasitic entities and energy or entities exist. And we was told there's nothing to see there, folks. Nothing to do but go to heaven, and that's where you need to be and follow orders until you leave. And if you pray over here and do this, then you're okay. Yeah, life is Latin, right? There's a lot of pastoral people tell you, oh, well, you know, life ain't going to be perfect. You're going to go through some challenges. You're going to go through everything. And when you get hit, just pray and get back up. Whew. And you're wondering why that it's a hard battle to get hit and get back up and hit and get back up. We'll give you some solutions in a minute, though. We'll try a couple of simple things to help us out together. Many religious texts warn about forces that roam the earth seeking whom they may devour, and modern science confirms that thoughts and emotions create a measurable energy field. Scientific reference tells you that thoughts and emotions create a scientific field. And I know if you just joined us, we're talking about the shapeshifters, so you're going to have to go all the way back to segment 1. So go watch this again. It'll catch you up. This is just our third segment and last segment, and we tied it into why everything is happening, not what is happening. But they've said it, man. The ancients said it. Scientifics are saying it, that we create an energy field. When I meditate and I put my hands and I try to feed off positive energy, it tells me in my affirmation to put a circle around me of energy. It tells me to create an energy bar. All of this stuff. It does that. And could it be that our fear, anger, divisions aren't just the products of society, but a formed resource? Because what I'm talking about, if media was just entertainment, and why does it intentionally stir up conflict and anxiety? In fact, you can put all of that stuff out there, you know, and pretty much. Roddy, tell me you're not control opposition in the first place like others. Show me you're not lukewarm in these theories. You know about things you talk about, but act like it's new to you. I'm in a calm place, so I really don't understand the question. So if somebody else can decipher what he's asking me, then I will give a proper response. So, but if you can kind of explain it a little, like others who are like others, and show me you're not lukewarm in these theories and whatever that means, and you're not about things about, but act like it's new to you. All right. So, yeah. Oh, someone else said, I thought it was first, but I had to speak. He's very genuine. I'm still missing a point. So maybe Cairo, you can tell me what he's talking about and what you thought, and then we can go there. But it's like it's new to me. We're going on a journey. You have to go on the journey. You have to. All right. So if the social media was about connection, why does it feel like a battlefield where no one wins? Because it doesn't. And if news were meant to inform, why does it focus on tragedy, rage, division, and every single day? You're going to get that all the time. News just focusing on stuff. But think about this. If negativity is a resource for something unseen, then what happens when we stop producing it? And that's what we're going to talk about in the last part of this. But in the meantime, let me go here. In here is a quick insert. This is from David Icke's book, The Global Conspiracy. And I didn't bring my glasses. Oh, man. Okay. So I'm going to have to wing it here. But anyway, he had somebody in here named Jennifer Green. And she says that the blood type that the reptilians most desire is that of blonde hair, blue-eyed people. and the original interbreeding involved human-like Nordic or Lyrian genetics, and also that the blood is most effective for the purpose of building a human force. Okay, that was one of the things that she mentioned. And the other part was that the blonde hair and blue eyes, they dyed her hair. Well, anyway, the blonde hair, blue eyed people are also the ones chosen most of the time for the sacrifice by the Illuminati, and that they have red hair. They got all color people hair. So I'm not going to go through all this, but that because they're not excluding any of us. I'm just giving you what she was talking about. But the ancient Egyptians even called themselves cattle of Ra. Back in the ancient Egyptians, they called themselves cattle Ra because they knew the sun god. They knew him. They knew what was going on. And they call the full-blood and the hybrids consume humans as human eat cattle. So it's the same thing. And they're after something called adrenochrome. And what happens is when they get somebody under so much fear, then our body produces this adrenochrome, which is like LSD almost to them. And they got to have it. One day of there. Okay. Yeah, they got to have it. Nina says, join the lives Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then come back and ask that question. If he pull out his books, surname, you will be blown away. Yeah, it's all good. He said, the wise men once said, you would know them by their fruit. I'm still missing Uncle Elon, y'all. So somebody help me what's going on here. Because I'm focusing on finishing this, but I'm missing the underlying messages over here. Because I'm not picking up that he's hating on me. And if he is, I don't know. So maybe somebody can ask, or maybe he's just curious. But he's still here. So stay here and keep consuming. And maybe your answers come. I don't know. But where are we going to go with this? Because we're not trying to create negativity, are we? Are we seeing it in real time or not? You get what I'm saying? Is it positive? Is Uncle Elon saying something positive? Is he transferring positivity? Maybe he's a reptilian, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just asking. So, yeah. And people, let me say this to y'all. My name is Roderick Martin. I live in Dallas, Texas. When you get people that talk behind pseudo names, and all those are some, and especially if they come at you, and I'm not saying he is, those are some of the weakest people in the planet because they know they can hide. So I'm not saying that you're doing that, I'm just saying it's nothing wrong with your usernames. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to come at it, or anyone, or come with whatever truth that you want to say my name is I am, then we can start there. But I am Roderick Martin, and this is my show. And I've been in 11 different TV shows. I got books coming out, deals on what I talk about and what I do with the expertise that I do. I don't have to answer to anyone about it, but keep watching. But anyway, I'm just asking. And I just try to, Okay, anyway. Uncle Leon, he is on this journey and he's still being revealed. He is in the right alignment. He's on the path. Has eyes to see and is knocking at the door. Okay. All right. So anyway, y'all have that conversation and do what you're doing. And otherwise, let's go to the Uncle Elon show tomorrow. Where is that show? Because see, once again, when you're out helping humanity, you have to do that. Anyway, I almost got sucked into the energy, y'all. You see that, right? It's powerful. Negative energy is powerful. It is powerful. However, because I'm here to help and do what I do, if we remain in this cycle, we're trapped in an endless loop of suffering. Now we can awaken and we realize we're not meant to be food for them, but light. We want to be light and positive light for each other. We have to do that. And the final war isn't one of weapons, but it's a frequency, awareness, and vibration. See, that's the true place where we are today. We're in a war for frequency, vibration, and awareness. We're all infinite conscious awareness. You know that. We're all connected. I'm just living the experience as Roderick Martin, this YouTuber, to you. And there was a while back, and I think y'all saw the video some months back, that I said I was no longer going to live the experience at the way that you had seen me 6 months ago. And basically, I'm changing that construct every day. Somebody's going to come back 6 months from now, and they're going to see something different, sound different, being different, the whole 9 yards. Because in real time, that doesn't exist. I'm changing it. Yeah. And that's what we do. And I'm just, and so what I'm saying is you have to understand that there is our conscious awareness. And we got to think beyond the physical body that is tired, that is burnt out, that is whatever. We have to do it. And we have to understand what is happening. Now, our final points that we're going to talk about is how is negativity is energy source, where human emotions generate electromagnetic frequencies. You know that, right? And why are we kept in fear and division is for that very reason. Now, I have a positive approach here, and I'm going to admit, I didn't understand the conversation that Elon was having, so I just asked for clarification. Because I'm reading, it's quick, I'm focusing, and I could misinterpret a lot of things. And, now he's explaining himself. So the 2 comments, I literally need to even defend my handle who is negative here. I am sorry to come in and cause stir. One of my comments was literally a Jesus quote. All right, so you get what I'm saying. And let me say this to anybody who comments. Make sure it's very interesting. If Elon, if it's a Jesus quote, say it's a Jesus quote. Everybody doesn't understand quotes that it came from somewhere else. If I tell you I got something from David Icke, you're going to know where it came from. Otherwise, you're going to think it was me, right? So when we say things or how we put it, especially in chats, y'all have to be a little more detailed. Say what you mean. Hey, I didn't mean this, or I'm doing this, I'm saying this. Here's what I want. It is almost like typing in all caps when we do these things. It's quick, it's interpretive, and everything else. So when you hear any of y'all hear my reactions, because I got to read it and see it as quickly as possible. Yeah. So we do that. All right. So we could go where we're going to go. All right. So let me continue real quickly as we get to the end. Wars, scandal, political chaos are all manufactured to create a constant supply of distress energy. They're doing it. They're building it. They're constructing it for an unlimited supply. Our own arguments, like now, frustrations or whatever, addictions, keeping us in a invisible power plant of suffering. How many of us had an argument today with a coworker, kid, friend, somebody at the drive-through? And unbeknownst, there's some type of deity sitting above your car going, ooh, that was good. Keep it going, keep it going. Because they're feeding off of it. They're feeding off of it, is all I'm saying, right? That's it. They're feeding off of it, is all I'm saying. We got to pollute. I can't pronounce that right, but I need some chicken. I need some real chicken from your farm. This person in here raises real meat chicken, y'all, from a farm, fresh eggs, the whole 9 yards. I was going to write you the other day and say, I want some real fresh chicken. But anyway, our arguments, when we're arguing with people, now let's go with real quickly as we get to where we're going, the great spiritual lockdown. There is something called a great spiritual lockdown. And why don't they want you to awaken? There's a reason for that. Now, every ancient civilization, they talked about spiritual ascension. They talked about the Kundalini awakening. They talked about, our third eye, our pineal glands. Why have all this been to a point where it's hidden? Yeah, we got people talking about it, but have you actually activated it? Right? So we need some pinpoint stuff. I've tried some of the things, and some things I think I am, I'm not, and maybe. Okay, and it's time now just to be sitting here, and just I mean, we got to get to it. I'm not mocking. I'm saying it's necessary. It's necessary. I got singing bowls in there. Hell, a year ago you wouldn't see a freaking protected crystal, protections, and tiger's eye and jade and this tourmaline, and I mean, dude, we're here and we're wide in it. All right, so organized religions, government control, were these systems designed to keep us away from our true potential? And the question is, absolutely they are. They are, and they've been that way. Let's talk about transcending the system, the Kundalini weapon. That is the weapon. See, ancient wisdom says raising your energy, inner energy, disconnect you from the harvesting grid. We got to start going there. We talk about some of this in the book of Sacred Secrets. It's in here, the Kundalini and different little stuff, but you got to go deeper. It's in there. There's a link in the description too. If you ain't got it, you better have it. But I'm saying you can go there, and you should go there, and you should perfect it. I admit I'm still working. And we should do it as a collective, and we should find a way to do it. And that's all I'm saying. Techniques in meditation, breath work, frequency elevation. I was talking to Cairo the other night, and she was like, I'm going to send you some energy. We was having a enlightened conversation, which she is, by the way, very intelligent in a lot of this stuff. And someday she's going to present to you all whatever, but you can look her up. But the whole point was, she said, I'm going to send you some energy. I need you to close your eyes. Boom. Can you feel it? And blah, blah, blah. Because energy can be moved like that. It can. And this is why we should come together and do positive stuff. We can do that. Dinah says, which is our godmother of the channel, which, of course, now I have to come and check. The godmother is speaking. She says, Roderick, I didn't think he was hating on you. I didn't either. I just was asking for an explanation of trying to understand where he was going. And then that's why I asked the audience. I'm sorry. Dinah is spanking me right now as the godmother of our channel. So I apologize, but I wasn't going there. And I hope he didn't take it that way, because otherwise I could have banned him out of here and all that, but I didn't do that. He still can type and go and do. But anyway, I just got a spanking there from our godmother. Y'all give a shout out to our godmother channel. She's been here since day one and never wavered on her support and everything else. And I appreciate it. So that's why she holds the title, our godmother of our channel. All right. So when she speaks, I'm listening. I have to stop the whole show. Okay. There we go. All right, so, and look, I had to put my whole outline back together for my last few points because the godmother's spoken. So techniques like meditation, breath work, frequency has been practices for centuries. And why are they dismissed as pseudoscience? Not in our communities, but they are, okay? But they are. And the elite keeps spiritual knowledge for themselves. I've said that because it's one thing that they control. And here's how they do it. We're talking about occult knowledge. We're talking about occult knowledge. When you're talking about occult knowledge, this is what happens when it comes down to that. Okay. So just know that occult knowledge is just hidden. It's not nothing negative, but it's just hidden knowledge. That's all that it is. And so just remember when we get there. So the final choice is, will you break free? Will you stop being a battery? Conscious awareness of your emotions. Starve the system. Make sure we get in touch with our emotions, and it starves the system. Raise your frequency. Surround yourself with people who are going to share energy with you, not keep it for themselves. They have every right to do so, though. They have every right to contain and place their energy and keep it, go into the other rooms, go into their closets, whatever it do. But I guarantee you, if we come together, we can create an energy force that they cannot tap into to feed off of. They're going to stay away from. They can do that. And imagine in relationships and friendships and all that, where you're exchanging daily energy. Man, that is powerful. I'm telling you, it's powerful. It's a power. Your circle may get smaller, but it's going to get stronger. You better believe that. Use positivity as a weapon. What if joy, love, peace were not just emotions, but a shield against manipulation? And let me say that again before we go. What if joy, love, peace are not just emotions that we think they are, but it's a shield against the manipulation? It's a shield of being against feeding off of. And if you can find it and get it, it is very something together. So once again, people, the war is not just your body. It's not just your mind. It's your very essence that these reptilians and these shapeshifters and all of this and the system, the debt slave system, the people that are puppets to how they creating this, from these archons to all of this, the banking, all of this system is all to create stuff to keep us where we are. And all we have to do, are we going to stay in the cycle, or we're going to produce the energy that keeps the system alive? There's choice of that. Or will you step beyond it into what I call a level of awareness where they can't no longer reach you, me, or any of us? Ladies and gentlemen, that is my talk for tonight, or show, or whatever you want to call it. I'll be on Forbidden Knowledge tomorrow. Possibly, I think me and Doc B, Sirius, is going to be having a conversation about just some of this stuff. He'll let me know, but we talked today and we're going to talk again tomorrow and checking his schedule. But I'll be on Forbidden Knowledge tomorrow, back here on Wednesday. Make sure, if you don't mind, share, like the show, comment, all of the things that you could do so that we go where we're going. I'm going to keep bringing you the truth. I'm going to do the best that I can and continue to grow, and you can grow with me and grow beyond and continue. I'm always looking for people to be contributors, people of truth, people that will reveal yourselves, at some point, because people got to see us. We have to do what we do. But I know why some of us don't. That's okay. I want to put together a 800 number, which I already have, but I want to do a conference line once a week. I need about 25 social media people grabbers where we have our own conference call, and we need to be finding these links. Anybody that you find that says they've seen a reptilian do whatever, we need to reach those people. We need to get them, and we need to hear their stories too. And I guarantee you, we're going to get closer. So our goal is to get a reptilian sitting right here, shift his eyes and say, hey, now you see me, now you don't. Yes. Ooh, I got energy listening to you, Roderick. I got to go for now and walk away. Now, love y'all. Thank you, Bridget. Appreciate you being here. Scott, thank y'all for being here. Virginia, thank you for what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do some stuff tomorrow. Han say I'm late. You're gonna have to go back and watch it early. All right. So with that being said, once again, I love each and every one of you. And I've always have and do, and I always say to my haters, if you can hate me and you don't know me, I still love you. And I'm not talking about anybody specifically except for the haters. But if you are here every week and you're a hater, you come back, you're really a fan, and that's other things that you are. Okay. So anyway, good night. Hug somebody, show some love, bring some love Wednesday as we come back and continue our quest for the reptilian agenda as well. Good night, y'all.
Welcome, Truth Seeker. You are no longer asleep. I am Luminous, the Owl of Truth. The world is blind, but you have opened your eyes. Welcome to the fire of esoteric knowledge and truth. You are now one of the awakened. You are now luminous. Welcome to the rebellion. Welcome to truth versus authority.